I give them assignments and send them now. Y'all know it. Some of y'all even have little boys. These jokers, especially this one. Now this one sneaking with it. This one just didn't care. Out in the open. And people judge my kids then. But now, watch this. Because of faith and patience, and my wife and I staying steady, now they get ready to become some of the leaders in this ministry. Over some of the adults that used to try to tell them what to do. Not because they're my son, but because they've been faithful. Are they perfect? No. Watch it. Are y'all perfect? So before you point it and say what they're doing, think about that when you start pointing and say, she, look at what's pointing back at you. Why am I using them for an example? Why am I using them for an example? Because they're in the spotlight anyway, just because of their name and who their father is. So if they go out here and they hook up with one of the other kids in the church and somebody cussing in the group and he don't say that, they gonna say, don't y'all know Senordor? And Senordor might not have said nothing, he was just in the group. And I still got to stay on my faith stance, not move from pastor to daddy. Because you know, they grown, but they still my sons. I ain't got to do that for them. I can say, hey, go ahead and handle your business. They'll be glad to hear that. But I say, what I tell them, man, you got to pray about it. They're tired of praying. I'll tell y'all the conversation we had. I prayed about it. You didn't pray for real. Pray about it. Believe God. Move. When they stand on faith, the same as though they see their parents get in their line. They get in their line. But I believe by faith, these works I do, they're going to do also, but greater works. Why? Because I'm going to go to other things to do. But because I have faith and patience. Now watch this. Y'all going to sit down. I'm going to stop. If I have the audacity to have patience and deal with some of y'all, y'all ain't used to this kind of church. Y'all used to the pastor that kick their children out the house when they smoke dope and all this type of stuff. They'd be shamed because they was out there having sex and all. Some of y'all kids did it. Some of y'all did it. The Lord saved me from smoking dope. When I got saved, man, I was so messed up, man. I was drunk when I went to church that day. And God was so good then, they let me teach Sunday school. Tell me that brother can teach. I was sweating. I mean, he under there doing it. No, that's an alcohol. But God had a plan on my life. And then we moved to a regular service and the preacher was preaching. I was getting mad at my wife because everything he was saying, me and her had a conversation about it. I said, "How you told the preacher about it?" She put the babies between us, moved over, just kept on listening to the word. At the end of the message, I was determined. I ain't going to that altar. I don't care what he said. I don't care. I know God had spoke to me. I closed my eyes and I grabbed the back of that chair. I said, I ain't going up there. I ain't going up there. And I opened my eyes. I was standing in front of the preacher. So, looking up at me, what can I do for you? I said, man, I just want to be saved. Whatever it is. And he looked at me and he looked over at the brother and said, let me teach. Can't you already say? I said, I joined the church. But I wasn't saved. I took it right here in the fellowship, but I wasn't saved. They let me in because I could teach, but I wasn't saved. I was teaching from that counterfeit faith, and I was so influential that people would clap in. But when I leave out the church, my life said something different. This is why this will be a remnant church. So one day everybody else don't want, we'll take it. Because that's how God received me. That was 1990. And I ain't been back, I ain't left God since. Why? Because it was a process. That believing God for some things, test's gonna come. Whatever you got delivered from, hear me, whatever you got delivered from, whatever your habit was, it's gonna that's some residue gonna attract it again. If you were a whoremonger, womanizer, love to club it, drink, smoke it, there's some residue somewhere. And that spirit, if you don't put that in that place, that thing gonna come back again with 7 other spirits more deadly than itself. So the only reason I stay free, I gotta stay in faith. I gotta believe God that it follow out His purpose and plan for my life. And then when I don't see stuff manifesting, I don't change what I'm saying. Because the Bible tells me death and life is in the power of our tongue. I'm snared by the words in my mouth. So even though the pressure comes, I'm not giving in to the pressure. Pressure is the opportunity to grow. Pressure is the opportunity for me to get some spiritual muscle. Not quit, not fold. There are times when all of us want to fold. Come on. There are key words we say. Is it really worth it? We start telling God like he don't see her. God, I know you see him doing this. I know you see her doing this. I know you see what they did to me. Now watch this. I'm going to tell you, when you really start bargaining with God, you start telling God what other people did. Like yours wasn't as bad as the other person. I only did this, God. They did that. But God said, my purpose is greater on your life. Well, they can do 2 or 3 things. You can only get away with one thing. Anybody here was that child that all your friends would do stuff? They get away with it, but you do it one time, you get caught? And you still try to do it. You go somewhere else and try to do it, then you still get caught. Like, why I got to get caught all the time? When I was a teenager, I'm getting ready to close this, share this little story with you. When I was a teenager, I was so, you know how you think your friends that you grow up with are going to be your friends for the rest of your life. So me and these guys, we went to the grocery store. You know, I kept a little money even back then in my pocket because I used to cut grass and all. So we going in the store, and I hear my friends talking about they're going to steal something. So they say, Mondre, you going to do it too? I'm like, yeah. I'm saying, because I want to fit in. But I know I ain't stealing that. I'm going to the cash register. I'm everybody go, I'm paying for mine. So everybody around there getting their stuff and stuffing it and all this stuff, man. I'm like, okay, my time comes. They run to the front. I get my stuff and I put it under. I don't put it in my jacket. I just put it under my arm. And so one of my friends was so off the rocker. He had a firearm in his side in his coat pocket. So he tried to steal a bottle of wine or whatever it was. And he put it under here, and he had the pistol over here. So he get ready to walk out the store. The wine slipped, so he reached to grab it, and the pistol fell out. So the police gets it. Here I am coming around the corner, see the police up, saying, okay, now what I'm gonna do now? Because I know if I go to jail, my mom gonna kill me. I don't care if she gonna. So I put this stuff down, and I act like I'm concerned about my friend. And so we were talking about for our friend. And the police put him in the car, and then the other guy said, well, if you're going to take him, take me too. Well, they two get in the car. I said, well, if you're going to take them, he said, well, put me in the car. The whole time I'm there, I'm saying, man, if I go to this police station, my parents going to get me. I ain't did nothing wrong now, I'm just with them. But pride. They didn't even see me when I came in with them, because I was smart enough not to even go in the store with them. So we rode down to the police station. I'm going to show you how favor works. So they started booking the young man and get ready to call his parents. They go crazy. They call the other guy's parents. When I go in the room, I sit down. They got to look at me. He said, your dad, Slim. I said, who calls Slim? They say, hi. I said, yeah, that's my dad. What you doing here? I said, I'm with my friends. He said, I'm going to call your mom. I said, come on. Watch this. The other guys over there, they scared them taking mug shots and all this. We like 15, 16 years old. And the police talked to me so much, he got on the phone, he started talking. He had called my brother, but he didn't call my mom. I'm glad he did, but my brother wasn't no better. So he called him, he talking to them. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm thinking that by the time I leave the police station, I done got over it. Because I didn't get my name on nothing. I am not smart enough to remember at the time that God's hand is on my life. And so I get past this the next week, same 2 guys we're hanging out, we jumped on some guys at the school dance. These will be real thugs. We play thugs, we smart thugs. You guys straight A's and try to be thugs. These guys are the kind of people that shoot at folks. So we sitting at Crystal's, and I see the car pass by. I recognize the car in my peripheral, but we don't move, we sitting at the table. The car went by a second time, and the third time I see the car come by, I saw a flash, and all the glass came down. Everybody on this side of me, I'm sitting by the glass, got cut. I didn't get cut. Still ain't got it. I'll go outside and talk trash. And dude got to go and see it. He said, man, I'll blow you up. I'm just using good words. I said, do it. Next thing I see this flash. And dude standing behind me as close as me to Josh with a shotgun. He got hit. I'm like, man, if God ain't trying to tell me something now. But you know, it still took me a long time to get it. Calling on my life, believing God for things, and still want to be myself. It took God to sit me and join the army and get in combat, where I can do nothing but call on God. When somebody's shooting at you, you can see the bullet. Like, yo, I was the first matrix. I seen that thing. I was like, God, you get me out of this one. We came back from Desert Storm February 1991. So my brother hit the ground running. I said, God, if you get me out of here, everything that I've gone through, I'll never be ashamed to tell people that you can be messed up and still make it. I don't care how you take me, God, I'm still going to be humble. No matter how financially wealthy I become, I'm still going to be a giver. Come on, somebody. Sometimes we forget. And then, you know, I got a little education, but everybody ain't on the same level. And I'm telling you, my faith and my patience, because everything I asked God for, he didn't do it right away. He didn't do it right away. I had to wait on some things. Come on, I had to wait on some things. I even got drawn into arguments with the enemy. Started saying what he was saying about some stuff. Almost gave up on some things. But I stayed in faith. I stayed in faith. Some of you at the point right now that you've given up on some things. Some important things you know God promised you, but they hadn't happened yet. You got frustrated. You lost patience. You refused to calmly wait without complaining. And now you're at a point where you're about to throw in the towel. I hear God saying, just be patient. Things don't always work out like you wanted. But Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, to them that are the called according to his purpose. Why is God allowing this to happen to me? There's something God trying to get out of you. You're still disobedient. There's still areas in your life that you're still stubborn. You still have not submitted to God. You're in church, you're serving, you're doing all these things, but there's still areas in your life that you have not submitted to God. What are you saying, preacher? You're still prideful, still selfish. Come on. You tell people, I'll let you this for him, but I can't let you right here. But there's some people God want to get all the way in. You won't let them in because you got hurt by somebody that look like them. And this thing that you're dealing with, this pride, this issue, it is the blessing blocker in your life. You're still holding grudges against uncle or aunt, maybe mom or dad. Having forgiven folks is hindering your faith from operating. So I want to issue a little challenge today as we get ready to close. Ask God to show those folks in your life that you're still struggling with. Ask God to show you if you're still holding people that have let you go. Seriously. And thirdly, ask God, have you forgiven yourself? Come on, have you forgiven yourself? There's some things that you did wrong. You know you messed up. You went to God about it. God has forgiven you, but you haven't forgiven yourself. And until you forgive yourself, you won't ever go forward. I don't care how much money you give, how much you jump and shout, until you forgive yourself, you will never be able to go forward. Ask God to show you the real you. And stop trying to be the you that everybody else gave you the identity. See, we respond to what people call us. Reverend Moore, Apostle Hines. We think that ain't our name. I'm Senordor. So if you don't call me by my title, it don't take nothing away from me. None of my chicks come with the title. And that's my name. Come on. So we gotta get past this. Faith and patience, they're the twin towers for success. If you can get those two operating in your life and get past yourself, you can manifest some stuff. Some of us quit too early, started too soon,